shouldn't be there because you've worked so hard, and yet there you are trying to get some food because you're hungry.
It's not about creating this lap of luxury. It's just about getting the basic food. It's about basic food.
The only should be that a minimum guaranteed income will give them a dignity, or give them an income and a dignity that they can have to manage, and without getting into huge debt.
The stories of people who are really struggling, and there just are so many, even though right down the road from us, a few miles into Cambridge, we have such great wealth.
Food banks haven't always been around in Cambridge. It all began 14 years ago when 3 local churches came together to try and tackle rising hunger in the city. The enduring gap between income and everyday living costs has meant lots of people find themselves on social security payments of £92 a week, with up to 15% taken away by debt deductions. That's where an essentials guarantee comes in, raising the basic rate of universal credit to at least £120 a week for a single adult. Protections against debt deductions, and an annual reset to match the cost of essentials. This is the story of how a community in Cambridge is coming together to fight for changes to our social security system. But it's not just about raising the basic payment for universal credit. As part of the essentials guarantee, it's also about that understanding of who is on universal credit, those everyday stories of people in work, out of work, a whole range of stories. This is intended for you, Daniel, as our MP, and it's also for those living in Cambridge. So my name is Clem Wallace. I'm the campaign coordinator for Cambridge City Foodbank. I've been going around the different welcome centres across the city, been speaking with people, I've been hearing their stories.
They think that everybody who is on universal credit or whatever, they're lazy, they're not looking for jobs. There are some of us that can't work because of disabilities, whatever, and there are some that are trying so hard to get a job, but 50 people are going for that one job.
Basically, the reason why I think this is so important for me is just genuine people who are struggling on the income that they're getting at the moment. It's just not enough. They're using the food banks a lot, they're using food vouchers, they're having to go to debt companies, loan companies, take loans out, you know, and some of the people, it's just generally not their fault. They're just, some people are struggling, they can't work at the moment, or they can't find work at the moment.
It's just knowing that I can wake up in the morning and I can give my daughter breakfast, or like, do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'll go without eating and I'll make sure she eats, and then she worries about me. It is difficult. I mean, I pay my own rent and that, but I struggle. So if I didn't have the food hub and the food banks, then, you know, I find it hard just to, you know, put food in the freezer sometimes and stick, sorry, and I rely on other people to help, and it is hard. And if I didn't have these guys just to talk to, and I wouldn't, yeah, I'd struggle very much.
We're struggling, and we'll use food banks and food hubs and such like, so we're surviving with what we got, so the extra money would help us guarantee our essentials.
I worked for 9 years in a care home, and I still knew when I got paid at the end of the month I was left with nothing.
They find it's not about putting more food in the food banks, it's about finding the root of the problem, which was maybe, increasing people's minimum payment on the universal credit. Because a lot of people rely on it. A lot of these people don't want to be on it, but they need to be respected, and they need to be able to feed themselves.
I work in public health epidemiology. I've done that for about 20 years now. Worked at a number of institutions, universities, including the NHS. I've been on a string of 0-hour contracts for the last few years, and at the end of last year, work dried up. Over the Christmas period, ended up having to use the food bank. Obviously, cost of living crisis, things have gone up in price. Just to stock up on the essentials, really. It took me probably about 6 or 7 months to find work. But in that time, while I was on universal credit, Having people financially struggle to pay the bills, have people struggle to feed themselves, people struggling to keep themselves warm, people shouldn't be having to put in that option where they can either put food on the table or they go cold.
What we're seeing at Citizens Advice, both particularly in Cambridge and nationally, is more people are having a negative budget. So after all of their essential expenditures, there is no money left, or their budget doesn't even cover those essential expenditures, and people are effectively going into debt to cover essential spending.
A place like Cambridge shouldn't have food poverty, child poverty, disproportionate rates of child poverty. Again, in a city like Cambridge, world renowned for its high tech, and it's a wealthy city, but it has an underbelly. It has a whole lot of people who are not stakeholders in that wealth, who are not participating, and we have a lot of problems with people even employed on low income and on benefits, which is why this campaign, Guarantee Your Essentials, does resonate with us.
So I'm Reverend Karen. I'm the vicar here at St Andrew's Cherry Hinton. We're on the fringe of one of the wealthiest cities, I think, in the country, and yet we see so much poverty. The cost of living is very high here, especially the cost of accommodation. So a lot of the people we're helping are spending everything they've got just to be in accommodation.
You've tried so hard, but you've got nowhere, and you feel like you shouldn't be there because you've worked so hard, and yet there you are trying to get some food because you're hungry. And it's not just a case of, oh, I fancy a bit of a snack. It's you're genuinely hungry. You start rumbling you, and you're slowly getting ill through not eating.
Being our MP today to talk about guaranteed essentials.
And Karen, what is the campaign? What are we calling for?
The homeless and the UC to help benefits of all kinds of help we can get.
It was a historic moment with food bank delegations from across the country meeting with their MPs, over 200 of them.
We need to solve the problem, regards obviously the food banks and everything else. So I'm very proud of what we're going to do today.
Yeah. Ben, how are you feeling?
I'm very excited. I've never been here before. I've only seen it on TV, and I wish everyone the best.
We met with Daniel Zeichner as our local MP. We shared our testimonies. Daniel agreed with us that no one should be going without the essentials, but he said he couldn't give his full backing because it was a money issue.
Like, this just creates a deeper and more ongoing problem. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to be fixed now, because the greater debt, the greater, it has a
It's
huge
gonna be
impact on
harder
mental
to
health.
fix.
That it's a snowballing effect. It needs to be fixed now. It needed to be fixed 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But it needs to be fixed now, because otherwise they are going to spend more money long term
Trying to fix it.
trying to help and fix things that could be fixed now.
What I'd be asking Daniel is, and saying to Daniel, is it's really important for the communities we work with, and because of the way they are disproportionately impacted, many individuals and many of the communities we work with, to ensure that they have a decent standard of living.
Someone's got to take a stance and try and fix it before more people fall down the holes of the safety nets that are supposed to be there that aren't.
If they want people to be less reliant on food banks, create situations where people can be less reliant on food banks.
Give us enough to live on. That's all we want, is enough to live properly. So that I can go to my cupboard and I've got food. If I weren't coming here, I wouldn't be eating.
I think the thing to stress to politicians is always something they probably know, which is just that the benefits, the whole system of being dependent is so stressful for people.
Families are having to make really hard decisions about how they make their money go that bit further, and it's about choices about food or bills. And in this country, we shouldn't have to be worried about these choices.
It's an easy fix. It can be easily fixed just by a little bit of funding.
If we want a society that has a good level of mental well-being and a good level of health, not just mental health but physical health, people can afford to buy decent quality food and vegetables rather than the cheapest thing that is on the shelves. If people had a bit more money to remove some of those worries, remove some of those financial pressures, I think you would see a population which is happier, healthier, and more productive.
We want everyone on UC benefits, have the understanding of how we've become and where we're going to go and what we're going to do.
More people, the more voices get heard, and that sort of thing, like get your point across, and that, like everyone matters, and that.
Wherever you have people working together towards any goal, that's a community.
So we're here to support everyone that is on low income or even with working that needs a little help.
You don't need to win the race, just getting across the line and having other people support you. It means that you're supporting other people and people are supporting you. It's what goes around comes around.
This won't just happen with a few of us. We need the numbers, we need as many people as possible, and I'll be there to support the whole way.
So Daniel, your constituents are really relying on you to make this argument for an essentials guarantee in Parliament. The autumn budget is just 2 months away. There's a real opportunity here to do what you were elected to do, and that is end the need for food banks.